was more improvisation no, we stuck with script. I mean, every once in a while, in the heat of things, lines get twisted around and stuff, but that's normal. I mean, it's true that he tends toward liking to play around with things, but things that we did do were, there were some scenes, I don't know about you, but we did a lot of doing the scenes over and over, just kind of almost nonstop. And then sometimes we did stop and talked about it, and there was one scene in particular where we realized there was a possible different interpretation of it, and then we kind of went at it with a different interpretation, which was fun. I like that. I don't know if you guys did that.
Yeah, we did the same. We kept rolling all the time just to keep the momentum going.
Was David trying to make a modern film noir with this film? Everything was so dark and murky, and of course the femme fatale.
It seems like, yeah.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think that was the idea.
He mentioned Hot Tub Time Machine. They're about to start work on the sequel. Will you be?
No, they shot it. I'm not in it. I wanted to be in it, but I think what happened was, actually, when we were working on this, John Cusack said something to me about it, and he asked if I was interested in being in it. I said I'd be in it. And I think they'd written, he's not in it either. And I think what happened was there was a lot that was written for me and him, and then I think the budget went down, and he didn't end up returning to it, and then they had to shoot it, and there was, just a little bit of time for them to rework things. There was talk about me being in it up till the end, but those things happened. I had a really good time working on the film and working with everybody, but those things, they happen like that. Yeah.
This film must have had the cheapest lighting bill on record. What kept you actors from walking into walls most of the time?
Well, I wasn't watching it this evening. I was hungry. I was doing a whole bunch of press today. but when I saw it before, it looked brighter than this did tonight. So I don't know if there's a color correction element, or I didn't see the whole film, but but it was plenty bright when we were shooting. So I don't know.
Great.
We shot in New Orleans for like 2 months, and it was all night shoots. So we'd start shooting from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. every day for 2 months. So once we were done, to get back to the normal routine was like so hard, because your time just goes crazy. And but we had a good time.
I was wondering if it was the same hotel that John Cusack shot Identity.
Oh. No.
Hey, how about some questions from you guys? Yeah, starting with this.
Out of curiosity, a little more, I was curious to know a little more about what that location was like the small town, these actors come in and they're shooting the film. I don't know, just curious, very interesting location. Was it most of it on location and not necessarily a set? Obviously there's the explosion at the end.
Yeah, most of it was in the set. We had a motel, a real motel that they rented, and we also had the studio, and we shot a lot in the swamps. And
all of my stuff was at that hotel, and it was right outside of New Orleans. So it was, I think everybody was staying in New Orleans and then driving over to the hotel. So when you're acting in a film, it's kind of a bubble. You usually don't really integrate into the culture that much. I tour around with my own shows and films. And I'm on my own when I do that, and I get more integrated into the culture that way. But there's kind of a lot of work and a lot of stuff, so it's this kind of bubble that you stay in usually.
Yeah, right here.
You've been around in movies for a while. Did the producers know that you were going to be the one?
Yeah, I got the offer for it just I think it was about 2 weeks before shooting. So it wasn't a lot of time. I remember because I wanted to grow facial hair out for it. I didn't have a lot of time for it. I wanted a little bit more time, but there was a very specific schedule. And it was very quick. I read it. I got the offer. I read it, and I liked it immediately. I think I had a small conversation with David on the phone, and I was very happy.
Were you the first choice?
I don't know. It's you think when you're offered it later, maybe there were people that turned it down. I don't know, but I had a great time working.
Yeah, Ken.
Do you prefer these sort of goofier, funny kind of roles as opposed to very serious roles?
I It's more about what just content is. You know, if there's something interesting psychologically, I learned to act through improvisation with technique as opposed to improvisation with comedy. But with that, you know, there's humor in those elements. So I just forgot what I was saying.
Improvise.
So I don't really think of it whether it's comedy or drama, but good drama has humor in it. You know, Robert De Niro is one of the greatest dramatic actors, and he's funny. Always, even in Taxi Driver or any of his films, he's always got humor with him.
In the back? Yeah.
From River's Edge to Woodland to everything you have done, you amaze me.
Thank you.
Back to the Future.
Good.
What, Lorraine? What?
Thank you.
Boy, I was asking, in Hot Tub Time Machine, you mentioned that they're making a second one. Will you actually lose your arm?
Will I do what?
Lose your arm?
Lose your arm. No, he's not in the.
Oh, I'm not in it. I don't. I'm not in it.
Hot
No.
Tub Time Machine too? You're not even in it?
I'm not.
He was eating too.
Send your displeasure to the studio. Any other questions? Yeah. Shane?
A couple of cities have been fortunate enough to see a little 10-minute preview of the end of your trilogy. When is Manhattan in line soon to get to witness something?
That's true. I started shooting a movie for myself. It's been something I've been in developing for a number of years, and it's my father's an actor, and he and I have never acted together before. And so this is the first time I tour around with my shows and films. I'm usually in New York. I've usually am at the IFC, and if people want to find out where I'll be with my shows and films, the best way to find out is on the signing up for the newsletter on crispinglover.com, or they can go to it. I have a Crispin Glover Twitter and Facebook page, but I do tour around regularly. I'm sure I'll be back in New York relatively soon. This weekend I'll be in Ottawa. So if anyone's in Ottawa, I'll be up there.
Yeah, question here?
Yeah, I was wondering, was John Cusack the first choice?
Yes, I think so. I think it was the first choice of the director, yeah.
This was a real physical role for you. You got the head knocked out of you in this movie. Could you talk about some of the stunt work and physical stuff that you had to do in the film?
Yes, I did my own stunts because they had a stunt girl, so something happened to her, so she got canceled. So I did my own stunts. It was a lot of fun. Actually, the guy that trained me, he's right there. He was amazing, and he was helping me a lot. Yes, and it was a lot of fun, you know. And I hate violence and I hate shooting guns. So that was the hardest part. The hardest part was to pull the trigger. So, but once I was in the character, I was able to do it.
So, yeah, question all the way in the back?
Yes, Mr. Glover, can you give us a status on your film production facility in a castle, apparently in Europe?
Right, that's I bought it a long time ago, I think almost 10 years ago, and that's where I've been shooting this last production. And I shot, I have 20 minutes of that film that I was talking about right now edited together, but I have to shoot quite a bit more. I shot 10 pages which edited together at 20 minutes, and I keep the script short. I have about 38 more pages to shoot, but I know the way that I edit it will be a feature film. In fact, I try to keep the feature short because I tour with a live film, a live show before the film. So, but basically I need to act right now in another movie to bring in money to pay for my production. That's actually an interesting thing about this production is it was funded by the director writer. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not. He's self-funded, but I actually think that's a very good thing. It's something I can relate to. I put my own money into my own films, and I think when a director does that, there's a personalization and something unusual and interesting that comes forth. So,
Did he give himself final cut?
I think he did. Yeah, I think so.
Rob?
Rebecca,
you talked about the physicality of the role. What was the most difficult part of the movie? Was it the car chase scene, or was it the jail cell?
Oh, the
Just
jail
tough to
cell,
watch?
because there was a lot of like physicality, and everybody was afraid that I would get hurt. You know, at the same time, we wanted to make the scene look as real as possible, and also as a woman to be almost naked, I felt very vulnerable, which worked in my advantage because the character was supposed to be vulnerable in that time. But that was definitely the hardest scene I did.
Okay, right here.
Actually, it was about 2 minutes into the film, I realized I'd seen this months ago in a rough cut. And I don't know if you've seen the rough cut, but this was so much better. I was surprised at what happened during the movie, even though I'd already seen it.
Maybe I
That's
should
great.
watch, maybe I should see it again. I don't know. I enjoyed it when I saw it. I should see it. I don't know if it's different. I think I saw the final cut. They hadn't.
No, I saw the first cut
Oh, maybe you saw it more than a
6
couple
months ago, I
ago.
guess,
Oh, okay.
and expressed my opinion on the cards and all that, and I realized that after about 2 minutes,
Right.
and
Where did
And
you
I-
see it? In New York?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Yeah, they did test it.
and I was wondering if you had seen the changes, because there were changes,
I don't know.
There were, definitely,
I'm
and,
not sure if I did or not.
but it was still very surprising,
Yeah.
very.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I saw some changes.
I did, of course.